Okay, so this is our fourth tutorial of Unix. We were actually working on essentials of Unix. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the third, second. We have completed second. First one is good. This is fourth tutorial of our Unix. Actually, you know what? I missed something. Let's pretty quick check 30 Unix commands. Actually, we discussed few of them, but we will go through it a little bit. We didn't talk about this finger thing. Nevertheless, we will continue to see finger something which you want to see here, but kill process and move. Yeah, move. It's like a copy command. This is a simple, move, but we didn't do here because we don't want to mess it around here. So instead of move, you use CP so that you can remove the file. Again, move is something which changes the original file. So you don't want to do that. Even if you're practicing here, I would highly recommend you not to use that move command. Only use it when you when you can create your own file and move it yourself, so that you know that the file gets deleted here, right? So sorry. So here, word count. How interesting. We didn't find word count file 1. Let's see here. Actually, we'll try this word count. Okay, this WinSCP. We'll go to here. Grex. Grex is good. Hopefully Grex is working. Yeah. Yesterday they had some issue. Okay. So password. Okay. So here, right, we were discussing. Okay, what is that again? We will just I missed something here. Okay, word count. Right, word count. Alright, I'll go to my directory. I know my directory. Okay, and I'm here try to see here. Let's find out the word count of test underscore data. We didn't do this, right? The reason because see, this was not working for .csv. You know what? Let's try for word count for records .csv. How interesting. This gives the bytes. This is actually the total bytes, and this is the width. This is the number of lines, I think. Okay. Find out one. Finally, this is the number of lines, number of records. But how come this is 0 here? It's not supposed to be 0. Oh yeah, it's actually not working for CSV files. So my recommendation is to convert that .csv into .txt. That we are not doing here in Unix. No, I'm not doing right now. Not now. We can do that if you really require. We can convert that .csv into .txt or whatever format you want. There's a lot of tools out there. If you want, you can use it. I can recommend you if you really require it. Let's say if you want to convert that .csv, I would. Let's go to here. Break. So not required because we are not working on online converters. Online convert is a tool which you can convert .csv into .txt, but here, where is it? You want to .txt, you go to here and put whatever format you want, put it .csv, and it will get converted. So no, we are not doing that here right now. So it's just for your information, actually. Okay. So here, where did we start here? We start with comparing the files and difference of the files. So we'll continue on that. there is one command called COMM. That too compares the file. That's, there you go. COMM. Hold on. We have this numbers, okay, .txt and numbers 1.txt. Let's find out what happens. Oh, how interesting this. Oh, we screwed up. Okay, now COMM in numbers.txt and numbers2.txt should do good. Come on, here you go. So this is what it's saying. That means there is additional 300, and this I think is, this guy is adding up thing. Oh wow. You know what, we'll just find out what it's trying to do here. So this is also a, yeah, it compares in two files. So you have the three commands for comparing the files. What is that? That's one is for CMP to compare it, and DIFF for the difference of the file, and COMM. This is what it is. This again has so many options out here. This guy is adding up that number. Oh, that's bad. I don't know what it does, if it's in character, if it's a string. I'm not sure. It also appends the string, I guess. So no, that's very complicated. So okay, now so there are three commands for comparing: CMP command, diff command, COMM command. That's good. Now let's talk about. I don't think this will work here because we don't have admin access again. But nevertheless, we'll try it. FTP command. We know FTP is file transfer protocol. What is that? It is used to transfer a file from one place to another. If you know that IP address, that's great. With that IP address, you transfer that file. Go to a location and do all those things. Okay, so now we want to see that FTP. Wow, there's a lot here in FTP. Yeah, you have to remember this put and get. Okay, this put is in FTP. Inside FTP, you want to put means you're putting the file. Get means you're getting the file. Okay, this is complex here. I'll try to that's the more important. Okay, you can create, make the, in FTP you can create your own directory, that is make direct, remove the directory, all those things you can do, display message, all this stuff. Okay, great, we can do a lot of things. Now, okay, we'll just quit this. Okay, now we'll just try this out. FTP. There you go. Now, since we are in FTP, we want to see what is present. That's very interesting. We are not connected. That's good. We're really not connected on that. So actually the FTP is supposed to be with an IP address. Okay, but since we don't know the IP address, right? Nevertheless, we'll find LCD actually. Is it LCD? So LCD here means local change directory. We know CD change directory, LCD is local change directory. Now here what it means, that means we are in FTP command and we want to transfer a file which is in our America, and we're going to transfer this file. So that's the reason I don't use much of this, because this is a little bit gets complicated here, because we don't have this IP address, right? If we had this IP address, we would have done something on this. So, but this you can use FTP. That's the point here. So that's the reason we want to use this one. If you don't want to use FTP, we can use this one. But of course, I hope, can I exit here? Great, I could exit here. That is, I feel much more happy that I can exit from FTP. Otherwise, I would have quit again and again restarted it to just for stuck in FTP. Okay, so actually normally FTP follows with IP address. The reason, because or at least you need to know the IP address from which you are transferring the file. Okay, it's file transfer protocol, right? So this is all character user interface. This is much more complex. Yeah, you want to know that server. Yeah, that's right. You know this IP address, then the user, then the password. This is, I mean, you need to have the root access. I don't think this works with this. The amount of access I have right now, I don't think it works. But of course, you can use FTP, and inside the FTP you can use put. Get the file. Okay, and then put the file into the local directory. Get the file from that particular server. Okay, the server you put. Let's say FTP get the file name. It's actually simple. Actually, I wanted to explain here, but unfortunately, well, let's try it. Even if you want to, you know what? Let's use get. Let's say in which directory I have it. Okay. So, want to use this one? See, that's the problem. I want to use LCD now. Okay. LCD means local change directory. Okay, we are in FTP, so you want to use LCD. CD doesn't work because if you want CD, that means you want to connect to that particular IP address, and nevertheless, we'll just try to get this. Get. Okay, I'm sorry. Here, let's see here what we have here. Yeah, just want to connect to it. So you want to connect to particular IP address. I should have done some homework on this, but actually you can use this ping option. The ping the IP address. You have this ping and IP address, then you can connect to that particular server. There's two options here. The get the file from that particular server, put that file into our local directory. That's the two commands you will be using when you are using an FTP command. Okay, but since I don't know the IP address, so we are not using here. Okay, that's sorry about that. You need to have this or else I should have done some research work on this to get some IP address, dummy IP address, so that we could get some file from that and try it on. That's the reason the get command and put command doesn't work here. So note, we never tried that. LCD. Okay, and before that, ls is not working. That's a problem. But we know the file is here, right? So we just get here, get the file name. Let's say test underscore data dot txt. Oh, yeah. See, to get the data, right, you need to connect to that particular server. you need to connect to that and then use the put command and this data.txt. Let's see what it is. Yeah, not connected. The not connected since because we need to connect to that particular server address, and then you have to use this. So FTP is you need to connect. Nothing. It doesn't work without IP address. So that's the problem. Okay, so one more interesting thing I wanted to explain in this class was you can use mail. Do you know that you can use mail? Let's clear the screen. You can use mail command. Do you have this mail? Okay. Let's use this mail. No mail for IT America. How interesting. Actually we just use this instead of mail. Instead of mail, you can use mutt mail send mail minus c minus p. Okay, this mail command is actually disabled. You know, they are like they're sending too much spam, so they disabled this. So it's not working. Sorry about that. But actually these guys have disabled that, so we cannot do anything. But you try mutt, M-U-T-T. This is very interesting here. Let's see here. Mail doesn't exist. Do you want to create? Yes or no? We'll just put yes. No such files or directory. Okay. Right. I want to use stadium. Yeah, here you see this. You can do this. Oops, I missed it. And go back. This is the subject. Oh, I want to go back on this side. So actually this is disabled here, so we don't we cannot use this option here. Okay, it says Q for quit, but this is not even quit. Wow, how interesting. For help, help is working. That's good. That's so good. Now here you have this various options for how to use this mail. Oh, how do you use this? Okay, let's use this. That's bad. Okay, I cannot move down. So to move down, I have to use this. No. Okay, so we have these options here. If you want to delete tilde d, not tilde d, hat d, and then you can delete all these messages. So these are the messages how you want to write a message using mutt. Okay, now I want to exit here. So put exit. Too bad. Let's just go here. So the problem is, I mean, at least I know how to exit in VI editors. So that's the reason. And you want to, before using those mutt, right? I mean, see the email is down on Grex, so they don't want to use this. Alright, so that's the reason email doesn't work. So but there's an option. You can use this email command. It's very useful when you're sending an email. Let me just modify this. Okay. So this has so much of options. Um, and you can go through this and try if it works for you. You can use CC, BCC, carbon copy, blind carbon copy, and if you want to check your. So all these commands you can use it, but it's not that easy because when you go inside it to exit, it's really hard. Via editor you can exit it easily, but this mod is really hard. But if you want to check the mail, this is simple. Mail, no mail, so nobody send you mail. You don't even know what's the email ID of this Unix, so I guess it's supposed to be some itamerica.grex.org or something like that. I tried to send an email, but it's not possible because they said, right, email is down, so it's not possible. So okay, so that was about mail command. You can send a mail, you can receive mail through this Unix, so no big deal. Calendar, we already discussed about calendar, right? 1754. So one interesting fact about now. Oh, guess what? I know what. Or just to give you one interesting fact here. We'll run this in SDF. So here we have very limited commands. This is a different operating, the same operating system actually. This also uses BSD actually. This is a different, but here if you want, we have very limited access in this. In that way, Grex is very good. You have a lot more. Here you have only CD, PWD, cat command, moves, edit, disk, okay. GUIP, wow. And where did you find this calendar out there? Just wanted to see something. Interesting. 1752. How interesting. Well, let's see 1752 calendar. What's the interesting fact about the 1752 calendar? Did somebody notice something? You see the September after 1 to 14. This September was very less. They got only 3 weeks. That's it. See, there was a story on this. My dad told me that this Julian calendar, right? This first Julian calendar. So what happened was, they had some of these issues like they were getting Christmas in February, and they were getting snowfall in some in summer. So what they did was they removed few dates. So after 1, 2, they just came up with 14. This was done by those inventors who, not sure those Aztecs or people or who, but that's what my dad told me, that they removed that whole, because of that Christmas thing was coming into February and March instead of December. So they wanted to remove those things and make sure that Christmas is coming in December, not in January or February. So that's the interesting fact about this calendar. So okay, this actually same in any Unix. Even if you try in any Unix, this thing comes, because there's a fact on this. So alright, let's close this one. Okay, okay, here you go. Here there are few commands more if you want to know. you have access for this, you can use this. Okay, this has little bit tricky commands. You can upload a file. How interesting. FAQ mail. Let's try this mail here actually. Yes. Okay. Okay. Save. This is not. Okay. So this mail command is a little tricky here, so we just skip that one unless you know how to do it. It requires a lot of research on that, and plus you need to have as admin access. Without admin access, it's not possible to do that. So you don't want to do that one. So yeah, and next, next we go to scd command. This is a command which is powerful. AWK. There is two commands which I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. This is pretty tricky, complex, and it's like finding out the shell. You know, do you remember the class, in one of the class I told you how to find a shell? Let's say I'm in bash shell. Okay, in that, let's say I'm in Khan shell, right? So CSH. I'm sorry, it's a C shell. I'm in the C shell. But if I want to find out, how do I know which shell I am? Although it shows up here, but it's not easy to find out. You have to put the echo and some kind of dollar and close that thing, and you get this process ID. This is the process ID for that particular shell, and the PS minus P and this process ID, and now that says that we are in Khan shell. I'm sorry, C shell. So that's how it is. I mean, it's not that simple. Just to find out which shell we are working on, we need to go a lot of process here. One step after one step and see. So that's how the thing works in Unix. It's a little complex. SCD. Let's talk about this SCD stream editor. What it does? SCD command. It's just a small command. You think it's a small command, but it does a lot more things than that. SCD is a stream editor for the basic input file systems. You know what? If I have some example on this, I would have explained on it. I do have an example technically. I supposed to have this at least. Now they don't have an example to use this command actually. So bad. But you can use this SCD command by looking here. If you have any, you can just look into it and see if anything works for you. This is for manipulating the files. If you have any files, you use this. I've not used this one for a long time. Unix, I barely use it, but it's because of files I get to know. But this is more for admin people, admin guys, so we'll not worry in that process. SCD and AWK command. We'll just talk about AWK command. Occurs, pattern directed scanning and processing language. How interesting. Now in this, again, this is supposed to do this with the file section. If you want to scan particular file in the pattern which you're trying to find out something in a file. Let's say you want some words in a file and you want to so this gets more detail into programming. Now we are not into programming at this point of time. I am not into programming at the, oh, you see here there's a lot of if else. We don't want to go into programming at this point of time but it's good to know. Okay, it's good to know that the command exists. AWK. This is for pattern scanning. Okay, in the file, but you want to use this all programming part. So we are not working on programming at this point of time. So don't worry about it. We are just working on essentials of Unix commands. We just get to know the commands. That's all. You don't want to go into dark side of this Unix. That's programming. So we talked about sleep. You want to make it sleep. Okay, go to sleep. Sleep for 5 seconds only. Okay, it's sleeping. After 5 seconds it just wakes up. That's it. And this one command foreground, FKG. That means if there is some process which you want to bring it. Oh wow, now there is no entry. Alright, now this is something called concept foreground and background. So what happens is some process you're running. Let's say there is a process, right? PS is for process. So this process, if you want to run for a background, put this process ID and supposed to, how does it work, right? This process ID, let's say there are 10s, 20s of process ID. You know what is process ID, right? Okay, let me tell you what process ID is. I guess I explained it. In Windows Task Manager, these three things are running, right? That's how the task manager for Unix. This is called process. Right, so what happens here is you can make it background so that you don't want to waste your time in just Unix runs in the background. But for now, the amount of, we have only 2 MB of RAM or something like that, so we don't want to do that. But there is no FKG. I'm not sure if this has for another Unix. Let's try for another Unix, okay? Because it's these flavors, right? So many flavors of Unix that every Unix has its own style of doing that work. Okay, so that's what it gets tricky here, because you cannot know everything in anything. So here we just see if FKD is here. No, nope. Maybe BGFG or FG. It's supposed to be something FG. There is FG. No, let's do something else. Okay, so there is FG and BG actually. Let's find out here. Oh, this became slow again. So this is the problem. We have to work more on one Unix actually to try to get this through. Okay. That's why, that's the reason Dennis Richard told, right? Unix is simple, just requires genius to understand its simplicity. So that's what the simplicity is here. LG, no entry. Okay. So it took something else here. Okay, so we'll not worry about foreground and background for now, but there is a command for that. Okay. There's a command for FG and BG, but we'll see man df. Let's find out what df is all about. This is file system disk usage. How much disk usage? So we also have du, so there's two different things there. Okay, so disk usage option, let's find out. df, it's how much? Oh, wow. So it's actually showing the free disk, how much the amount of days it's free, you know. It's how much? 12%. Its capacity is 1%. Root is this is the root. Okay. Oh, these are different directories. Oh, how much it is using. So it's disk usage. Okay, I mean not disk usage. Disk report file system disk space usage. Yeah, disk usage. There is also du there. Du is interesting. Okay, directory. Print directory. Estimate file space usage. Okay, so there's a difference between df and du. Okay, that's great. Good to know. Okay, so that's df, and there is one command, history. So if you try to know what we have done so far, I'd like to know what we have done. So this is good for admin people who are trying to do, and they were trying to see the history, what you have been doing so far. So you have been doing a lot more things. So this shows the history. So far we were trying to do these many things. Yeah, I tried to run this shell script actually. So that's the reason it's showing the hello there. Oh, okay, good. So that's a history, and this command called halt. Oops, no, you can't do that. You're not an admin. Operation not permitted. And reboot is one more option. Oops, you cannot do that. And switch user, SU password. Even if you know the correct password, so you're not in the group field, sorry. So you cannot do all this stuff here. Okay, you cannot even run the shell script technically. See, there's one shell script here. Let's try to see here. Ta-da! Where is it? Shell script that I actually saw here. Hello, yeah, hello.sh. So to run the shell script, normally hello.sh would do, but here it doesn't, it's not working. So to run a shell script, you want to /hello.sh. Permission denied. The reason, because you cannot run shell script in this particular, so your options are very limited, sorry. So you don't want to do that, but you can read this, what the shell script is all about. Hello.sh. This is a shell script. Whenever it ends in .sh, that means it's a shell script. Okay, let's view this. It just says hello you. How interesting. Or you can create your own shell scripts, no big deal. Just type vi and put your whatever name and make sure it ends with .sh. If it is .sh, then it is shell script. Okay, so we are not going into shells at this point of time. So that's it. I mean, this is a little bit the information about the command. So we hopefully this should do for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a long day. We will just talk about vi editor. I'm not sure we will able to complete this vi editor the whole, but it's pretty long. And some of them don't even work, so don't worry about it, because and there's one more thing that I didn't talk about, and you don't require it. Just you can change the password, so no, you don't want it, because you won't have to change the password, because this Unix operating system will be used all over the world. This will be used for the whole world, because the students are from Germany, from Canada, from United States, from India, and all sorts of world. So I'm not talking about changing the password right now, and don't change it FG, because it would cause serious trouble, and once it got lost, then you are actually, a lot of people will be in trouble, not just you, a lot of people, and it's not good, and people will lose access, because it's a privilege for you to give you access for the Unix. So don't screw this, because it's not good. Alright. Well, that's very interesting that you don't have this foreground and background. Okay, so here's one more thing here. The problem is the SQL. You can run SQL in Unix, right? You can run SQL. Just SQL. Ooh, wow! I didn't knew this. That's very interesting. Okay, now that's a very interesting thing here. All right. So what the problem is, here they are using a database. This is Maria database. Maybe it's free or something. Okay. And I'm not going into SQL right now. We are not talking about the SQL in Unix, but just to give you an idea of having that you can run SQL in Unix. Okay, that's the point of what is my point is you can run SQL in Unix. It's just like running SQL in Windows using Oracle database and doing that. So it's also from Oracle, I guess. I'm not sure about the command because I didn't prepare for this. It just ooh, that's very good. Okay, great. We have learned SQL here. SQL in Unix. How that sounds good. Maybe I will prepare some separate video on how to run a SQL in Unix. That should be good. So here you can write same select star from EMP, all those kind of thing. But I don't think that thing works here. But let's see here. Let's if you want to create it, let's first find out quitting is easy or not. Quitting is easy. So you know that there's a SQL here and there's an help here so that you can help yourself. But so you want to know the database. So you are in some database and you want to execute a SQL script, but you want to, I used to write a SQL in Unix, but not writing it, but executing its SQL file. But those days are gone. But that had this SQL SQL++, and now I don't think there's. Why am I using charset? I was never prepared for doing this, but so I don't think this works this way. So you can use, so that's the point. The point is you can use SQL in Unix. So that's what the rest you can do it yourself. Get out of this place. If you don't know how to get out, just quit it. Okay, great. So you can do a lot more things here, okay? Yeah, we supposed to do this one, right? Okay, MySQL. Let's try this, okay? MySQL, and we'll use an SQL prompt, right? /r. So I don't think select this thing doesn't work, I guess. Nevertheless, so sorry. Okay. So you can use SQL in Unix, you can use mail in Unix, you can use most of the things, whatever you are using in Windows, you can use in Unix. So that's not a big deal, okay? You can do almost everything. Now this is an autosys command. I don't think they have job scheduling tool here. Autosys commands. So there's m commands. Those don't work. We don't have access. Okay, so we'll not worry on that one. So that will be a separate class. If if I have to make in future, I'll be using that as a different. So far we discussed pretty good amount of commands. Let me see if there is any other commands, because we are done with the commands part actually. The major part for Unix is the command to let you know. Oh, wait. We are missing something here. Let's use 30 Unix command. So here we didn't talk about kill process, LPR. There is something called LPR, right? So LPR doesn't work here. So scheduler not responding. LPR is to print the file. We are not connected to printer. If you want to print, you can print. Yeah, to print files. If you are connected to printer, if you are having printer and if you are connected to IP address, you can print this. So we are not connected to printer. So that's the LPR. Finger is one more command actually. So first let's find out what finger is. Okay, so finger, that's it. So finger shows that how many people have logged into it and who are the users. Oh, that's very interesting. I can also see a lot of people here. So this is the username. Yeah, so this is the username and who logged that, log time. I guess this user creation is me on Thursday. No, not me. Alright, so this is finger shows the information. So this is me. And I will just last login on Thursday. That's today. I didn't provide any office number, and either so the finger provides the information about the users, list of users, and their information about the users. Top command. Let's show top command works. So this is when you are connected to internet. So we just use talk. Yeah, the person name. If you are connected to this Unix and the guy who is using is that Unix, right? And the IP address is very important. To get this IP address is pretty complicated to see here. You have to have this machine number and all those things. So, but yeah, there is a command for. We can use talk. Kill. To kill is a process. Let's see here. want to kill a process. Now, you know what? Let's say I'm in K shell, right? This con shell, now C shell, CSH. Okay, now I'm two shells. Now let's find out. Sorry. PS. Now I want to. These are the processes which are running, right? These are the processes which are running. I want to kill process. See, just let's kill this process. 29394. Okay. What I will do is KILL in process ID. That's it. Got killed. You don't find that now. Oh, you did. Just cannot kill like that. Says kill. I don't think they can kill process just like that. Okay. So, but the point is to kill the process actually. But we have here process. Let's see, two process. So why don't we kill this process? It's not working. Huh. It's still running. So it's normally is used to kill the process, but since administrative access problem, I guess we cannot do that. Alright, nice. I'm not sure. Nice command. Wow. Nice. Okay, so there's nice command out there. And there is a command called no hub. I didn't talk about that, right? No hub. No hub. Okay, it's not there here, so don't worry about it if it's not there. Quota, you have this quota. QUOTA. Okay, so that shows how much limit we have, how much we are using it, how much grace time. Okay, good. And we discussed a lot of things here. CD. So this is good. We have covered most of things. Echo is good. Echo is means it's a real-time echo, right? It's echo means echo, right? What you're saying, it gets back to you. So let's say if I want to, we already done this, right? Echo mono, so it shows mono. Get back to me the same thing. So that's what echo does. But echo is far more complex than what I'm saying to you. You see, there's a lot of things you can do when you're programming in Unix. Since we are not programming here, but good to know. These are all things you can do with echo. /T/N, so on. Okay, so grep. Let's find out this grep thing, right? Grep is very odd thing which we are not able to do this. Let's do this now. So here we have to, let's see, grep numbers.txt. We always have to deal with .txt file. .csv is not working. Okay, numbers to .txt. How interesting. What did it do? I don't even know what it do. So it searches for the lines given. I don't know. That thing didn't work out. More, yeah. We kind of use more. Use more. More is to view files. So I use this with pipe command. Remember, The reason we have, let's say if I want to list, right, this is ls, it shows a lot of directories. So what I want to do is ls, not this actually. Oh, too bad. So when you're listing files, you can use pipe command and more, so that you know you can use. We did use more, right? We did use the word count. So we covered pretty much most of the things in small tutorial too. So and we will stop here because tomorrow we'll discuss about. Or maybe let's see if I have time I'll finish this, but I mean not in this class, it will be a different class. So we'll just try to see about VI editor and hope so these you can go ahead and read it if you want. Oh yeah, the octal systems, yeah. So the octal system work this way. So if you don't understand it, go ahead and try this and go ahead and click properties. See here, this automatically generates for you the octal system. 307, you want to 044, or if it's 0244. Okay, you want this 4670, don't want to do that. Okay, so all this octal system, if you don't understand, you can WinSCP will help you out. So we'll close this class for today. I mean for this class, and let's see if I can make one more class lately, because we'll finish this Unix pretty quick. VI editor is the only thing which is important, right? VI editor is very important. So we we have covered most of this. Oh, and user of course. User, you can't use that. Oh, this is for admin. Okay, we don't want that. A user, you want to add it, or you want to delete it, you want to remove it, manage user login information in the system. Sorry, this is admin command. We are not even bothered about that. Okay, so don't worry about it. And diff command, we use this diff command, so we are pretty much good, I guess, for this is our fourth, and let's see if in fifth class if we finish this, and so I hope you find this tutorial useful, and I hope we will finish this hopefully by today. Okay, thank you.